to another video from Agne. This week we are going to begin my island series, and this will be preparing pre-prep to island as requested in the comments and in my Discord. Speaking of the Discord, we do have a Discord open, which I will leave the link down below. This is used as a community tool, so there's absolutely no bullying, being mean to each other, just generally being an asshole. Just don't do it, or else you're going to get kicked or banned. On top of that, as we gain more followers and subscribers, eventually YouTube will monetize my content, and if that does happen, the first 3 months of anything that is gained from the channel will be given away in a bi-weekly draw to whoever is subscribed and in my Discord. After that, it'll be 25% of what is given each month will be given in a monthly draw to whoever's in the Discord. So invite your friends to subscribe, join the Discord channel, and let's see where this thing goes. So all that aside, going into the island, there's a couple things that you're going to use a lot of in the island. One being resources, the other being diamonds and teleports. Now in the first week, you're not really going to be using any teleports because it's all free area, but you still want to stock up while you can. Usually right around 100 to start is usually pretty good. You end up running into using your diamonds anyway throughout, depending on how much you actually fight on the island or how much diplomacy you have. I personally prefer to fight on the island, so there's always somebody that we are fighting. Makes it so it's fun and whatnot. Resources. Now again, this is really determined on how progressed your server is and what your enemy is going to be facing, because you have to realize that when you go into an island, there's several major factors that will qualify or will basically determine who you get pit against. First being T10 research, how many people have it, how many people are close to it. The second being how many active nests you have in your alliance. So if you're going in with 100, you can be matching up with people that have close to 100. The T10 is a big one, and the smaller factor, but towards the end game, is honestly one of the most important things to do, considering that's something you can change to be able to get better matchmaking and such, is your overall alliance power. Now this has a small significance right now, but it will have a bigger significance when you get into the new Barren Island that they're opening up, which, by the way, I'm really mad that they got rid of the new island rules that they had released. Did a video on that. Very mad they reverted that. But anyway, alliance power does have a factor. So as you can see, we all started dropping power. A lot of us are getting down to where we need to be. And if you want me to go more into that and what we kind of have for qualifications as far as what power people need to be, I can do that. But anyway, with that being said, we're going to move into the resources, which this is all leading into. Now, obviously, if you're a carrier main, you're going to be using a lot more leaf than anything else. So usually, for whatever you main as, the thing that you're going to need the most of is, like for shooters, it's going to be sand. For carriers, it's going to be leaves. If you're a guardian main, I think it's wet soil. It's wet soil. But that's what you're going to need the most of. If you're planning on doing a lot of fighting, you probably don't want to go in with less than like 1.5 to 2 Gs. Which you can see for me, I'm sitting right at 2.1. I'm pretty good. But you kind of want to keep yourself right around that. Obviously, there's opportunities in the island, such as hunting hornets and such. But when you start and actually get into the fighting, a lot of times and a lot of days, you don't have the stamina to be able to hunt hornets and such. So it's better to be prepared ahead of time. Now, diamonds. Diamonds are your next best friend because you're going to be using a lot of them to heal, teleport towards the end, etc., etc. Now, the one thing that I would not suggest using your diamonds on is march speeds. You could port jump, which would be cheaper if you really need to get in there for that hit on a building or whatever. But you don't want to be using any of your diamonds on march speeds whatsoever. Now, on top of that, as you start to get into the island prep and whatnot, one of the main things to start telling people, especially on building day for Warzone, the strongest Warzone, start telling people not to try to get 9 shells on building day, and on the rest of the days to just get 9 shells. That way you're conserving your resources leading into it. Warzone kind of takes a backseat when you get into the island itself, and it becomes something that's not of importance to be trying to focus on to do. So that's going to be another key factor as far as your actual preparation. Now, another thing that we do a lot, which I'll cover into another video as we actually sign up for island and such, is if we're within their bracket, we'll go in ahead of time and test out people in the mines and such. We'll sweep the mines, test out who we're facing, see who is stronger than who, etc., etc. But that only applies if they're within your bracket. But that's a little bit of scouting that you can do. You can also, look at each of their servers and kind of get the general gist of strength of players and who's king and things like that from actually going and searching their server. For instance, I'm not sure if it's going to let me. Let's just say we're facing 523, which is who we're facing in Warzone today. You just go to their tree, which if people don't know, you can always click and type in here whatever server they're on, and go to position and whole rankings. You can start looking through and just getting a general idea. Look at the positions, etc., etc. But I'll go more into that as far as the actual scouting of other alliances, as long as you can. And sometimes you can't when we get further into this progression. Anyway, with that being said, that is pretty much it for an island preparation video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit that subscribe, hit that like, and we'll see you in the next one. Egging out.